Thanks a lot, Tony, for the introduction. We've only met recently, but yeah, it's already been great to be in touch with you the last 2 weeks, I think. So my name is Victor Donker. As Tony said, I'm the co-founder of Usono. We are a new startup from the Netherlands, and we have the mission to ease, improve, and innovate the use of ultrasound. So that's what I'm going to talk about a bit later, but I thought I'd do a first really quick introduction about myself, because I'm not a sonographer, I'm not a cardiologist, I'm not medical schooled at all, actually. So my name is Victor Donker. I want to explain myself with a few projects, pictures from before I started Usono. So the one on the left is me, of course, obviously. The one in the left top corner is my really best experience with healthcare that I had in Bankstown, which is very close to Sydney. I lived in Sydney for 11 months, and in the Bankstown Hospital, I developed a product for people with strokes and how to rehabilitate their balance issues better. And that's where I really fell in love with developing products or services systems for healthcare world. On the right top, you see the result of that product. Was a stepping stone for people who had stroke issues to be able to walk again. And yeah, that really made me fall in love with healthcare solutions, and it showed me that I, as a human being, can create something to help other human beings. The left bottom is a short picture of a breast cancer communication system that I developed with Philips Healthcare for my master graduation. And on the right bottom is a picture of a indoor drone which I worked on that can be used for healthcare facilities. So the drone could fly indoors to help people getting their meds or just a simple drink, whatever. And I realized that, as I mentioned before, as a human being, as a designer, creative person, I create something for the healthcare industry. But I think it doesn't always need to be very complex technology. You can create something very simple to create big impact. So I co-founded the company Usono together with two friends of mine, Jori Verbeek, who you can see on the left. Jori Verbeek is currently our CTO. He's the technology guy. He works on the product development, R&D, the patent, the quality assurance of the product, etc. Our CEO, Benjamin Cheng, is the one who started the ID. He's the one who is currently responsible for business, finance, strategy, and investments. And myself, Victor Donker, the COO, responsible for operations. I'm responsible for all our suppliers as well as our distributors, clients, sales and marketing, branding and PR. So as you can see, we're a small co-founding team. And it all started for us 4 years ago when Benjamin asked me, Victor, can you quickly make something for my graduation project? Because I need to fixate an ultrasound transducer to the leg in order to see moving muscles. And I, as a student at that time, loving to make innovations for the medtech field, said, okay, Benjamin, I'll help you. And together with Jori, we started from a wooden block and we ended having a 3D printed product, which helped Benjamin to graduate. But what also got attention of a lot of medical professionals in the Netherlands. But we graduated. And as graduated students, you're super happy that you're graduated and you're going into the real life and you're very excited, but then you need to get a job. So all the three of us got a job, and that was our main road, the standard route that most of our friends did as well. But we always had this product in our head and we knew that we wanted to do something with it. So as a sidetrack, we kept developing the product that we already at that time called the ProFix. So that sidetrack was very difficult because we had a lack of time. We had to do it in our evening hours, our weekends. And the other thing, as just graduated students, we don't have that much finance, of course. So we spend all our pocket money in creating the first prototypes, filing a patent, etc. But the good thing is that we learned to work together with cardiologists. So here you see Maarten-Jan Kramer from UMC Utrecht, who we visited almost every month, every time with a new prototype. changing with rotation or anything that he as an end user would like to see in our ProbeFix. So that caught the attention of High-Tech Excel, an accelerator program at the High-Tech campus in Eindhoven, where we accelerated our business in only 4 months, from only an idea to a full working business actually. And I always describe that with this picture. I see that program of an accelerating idea from, we are young entrepreneurs who want to go to the top of the mountain, but we've never done it. So we were connected with several mentors who have done this path to the top already. And from one place to the other place, we developed our business. And after that, we kept continuing that speed. And we've achieved a lot since September 2016. We CE marked our product. Our product is TGA marked for the Australian market as well. We're not yet FDA marked, but this was a great step in our process. Also, our products are currently produced in Helmond, a city near Eindhoven. So it's great to see that we started a product as students that is now being produced for our users internationally. We have a great stock in our little office here on the High-Tech campus in Eindhoven. But the good thing is that stock is currently being used in several hospitals. So the echocardiography problem, I guess most of you know the situation of the ultrasound machine here. And the sonographers are always sitting in a bad position, actually, as Tony just mentioned, and Doug and Mark said as well. Sonographers suffer from repetitive strain injuries because they have to hold the probe to the chest for longer periods of time, needing to press the probe towards the problem, towards the chest, sorry. So those problems are repetitive strain injury. 80 to 90% of sonographers worldwide suffer from RSI. They cannot work anymore, which costs the hospital a lot of cash. It can be up to hundreds of $1,000s per year. It's also impossible to create continuous images and to measure continuously in the heart because you cannot keep a stable image with the probe on the chest. And also more and more a difficult situation is the patient contact. As a sonographer, you have to keep your arm over the patient. And we can say patients get more and more obese, which is very, very inconvenient for the sonographers. So you would say that there is a solution to attach a probe to the human body in order to make continuous images, to not having to hold the probe with your hand. Well, if we look online, we see some trials. We see people in research facilities that tape the transducer to the body. But of course, just taping a transducer to the body does not bring what you want in practice. So what do you expect from the industry? Well, the industry develops something like this, a probe fixator, but that does not actually fixate the probe to the body. It purely fixates the probe to the table or to the bed. So it's not attached to the body, which means that as you move as a patient, the probe does not go along with your body, of course. But especially in situations where you want to cycle, the exercise stress on a bicycle, you need to be able to monitor that patient during the motion. Or at least you need to be sure that after the motion, you can again find that same image. And also interesting application is the intensive care. For cardiac output monitoring, you do want to measure the heart for longer periods of time. But of course, as an intensivist, or other medical staff in the intensive care, you cannot hold the probe there for an hour or as long as you want. So therefore, we invented the ProbeFix. The ProbeFix, as you can see, is a product that is designed in order to fixate a general, regular ultrasound probe. So if you can see my video now, we have a modular probe adapter, so I can fairly easily replace one probe with the other. I'll quickly go to the table because we can see here.
So Victor?
Yes?
Yeah, we can't see, I can only see your slides at the moment. So maybe if you could stop share.
I have to. Yes. Let me see, because Okay, so I hope you can see the screen now. So as you can see, the ProbeFix is a tool to fixate a regular and existing ultrasound transducer, in this case, an M5SC. We also have probe adapters for other probes, so you can very easily just exchange this one module by twisting this open and taking it out. The very important thing about the probe adapter is that you can easily rotate it in the right angle. And if you leave it there, it stays in this position. So you're always able to manually rotate and tilt the probe in the angle that you want. So if we're going back to my screen now. So the ProbeFix has a modular adapter, which means that you could replace one probe with the other. And with the spherical mechanism, any position of the probe can be made. And it's height adjustable, meaning that any body type, you can make sure that you have contact with the right contact with the skin. So what does this bring? It brings a non-invasive and better reproducible way of making continuous images. You can simply attach the ProbeFix to the body and attach the probe in order to get continuous measurements. So some of the applications are mostly in stress echo. Stress echo, the ProbeFix can be used actually in upright ergometers, in supine bicycles, in the treadmill, or when using dobutamine. So I'll show a few videos of the upright ergometer. You can see here, very nice on a GE system, the probe being attached to the skin, and the patient is actually just cycling, and you can get continuously the right image of the heart. The video you can see here is the supine bicycle. So the patient, what you see is purely just biking. And the very interesting point is that the sonographer is actually on the left corner. The sonographer doesn't need to be next to the ultrasound machine, but can just do other things in the meantime. And after 3 or 5 minutes, when he needs to monitor the patient again, the patient's position and the heart is still the same. So the other thing is the treadmill. People running on the treadmill or walking on the treadmill can now with ProbeFix be continuously monitored during the exercise. So there's no need to take off the patient from the treadmill and monitoring them on the bed. You can just do this during the monitoring, during the walking. I don't know. So some of our users have published some research about it. So the University Medical Center of Utrecht published a study purely focusing on the stress echo, saying that the ProbeFix can work on the supine upright positions. And what they say is that they believe that ProbeFix enables good quality continuous echocardiography imaging, as well as that ProbeFix is able to improve the implementation of an existing diagnostic tool. Stress echo is a very, very often used diagnostic tool. However, it's not used optimally. And with ProbeFix, we see that it can be used way, way better. And what's for us even more important is that people, the sonographers, the people using it, that they're very happy, that they do not feel the pain anymore. So one sonographer in a using hospital in Deventer says, I'm really glad that I do not have to add a lot of pressure. Without ProbeFix, I would still have to have a lot of trouble and pain on my shoulder. And now it's acceptable. So what we see here are the graphs of the EMG sensors that we stick on the underarm of the sonographers. So as you can see, on the left is the EMG signal of the usage with ProbeFix. And on the right, it's the usage without ProbeFix. And as you can see, the activity, the muscle activity in the underarm is way, way higher without ProbeFix. So without ProbeFix, a sonographer continuously requires a lot of pressure and able to make good images. With the ProbeFix, you see that the sonographer actually can rest her or his hand, and you see that there's only very, very little pressure required in order to make good contact with the skin and to keep good images. And we've not only looked into the muscle activity in the underarm, we've also looked into the arm abduction. So you can see that without ProbeFix on the right, the angle of the arm of a sonographer is usually above 60 degrees, with a lot of research showing that the arm abduction over 30 degrees is actually very bad and very riskful for your shoulder injuries. So as you can see with ProbeFix, the amount of time that you have your arm over 30 degrees is only very limited. Most of the time, the sonographer's arm is actually under 20 degrees, which is far below the risk degree of 30. So currently our product is being distributed in 12 countries throughout Scandinavia, the Netherlands, United Kingdom, Spain, and Portugal. Mermaid Medical is our distributor and representative. In Poland, MDS Cardio is our representative, and we have a key ambassador there called Jaroslav Kasperzak, who is currently doing extensive research on the stress echo. And for Aineron, we have the markets Australia and New Zealand. So our product is also TGA marked and available in Australia and New Zealand. We are working on FDA mark yet, but unfortunately we don't have it yet, and we expect to be ready for the American market in 2019. And I just want to teach you with something that we're working on, which is not fully developed yet, but we will launch very soon, which is the ProbeFix Dynamic. ProbeFix Dynamic is a tool to fixate a ultrasound transducer to the body, but not specifically to the chest, but to the upper leg, as we actually started with in the very first beginning with Benjamin's research. But now this product is very much evolved, and we're collaborating with Philips in the possibility to monitor muscles in motion. So as you can see, this runner is running with an old prototype of the ProbeFix Dynamic together with a Lumify of Philips. And we can actually see what happens with the muscles in motion. So you can see here the image of his upper leg. And afterwards, we're able to analyze what the muscle has been, how the muscle has moved over a period of, for example, 30 minutes during this exercise. So with this, we're creating even more possibilities on how to use ultrasound in a way better way in order to create better images for the future.
Thank you, Victor. That was a fantastic overview of the product. I haven't seen one myself in the flesh before. You held it up before, and you're demonstrating that you can move it around and manipulate the transducer within the ProbeFix holder.
Yeah.
Can you change the amount of pressure that's been applied, or is the pressure constant throughout the acquisition time?
The pressure to the skin is always the same.
So the pressure is always the same. How do you know that there's enough pressure there? Like, one of the big things we do when we're scanning normally is to sort of put pressure on to improve an image, or pull up or down on a rib to try and optimize the image further. Can that still be done with the ProbeFix, or are you kind of stuck with the image that you get initially?
Well, as you can hopefully see, you can always manipulate a bit.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think it's a mindset. Sonographers usually think that they need to keep adding pressure, etc. But as soon as you have the right image, you can actually leave it there. You do not need more force. You do not need more pressure. The contact is just sufficient. But of course, you can easily rotate, manipulate a bit in order to get the right view.
Wonderful, fantastic. As I said, I said to you when I first saw it, I was quite skeptical, and it wasn't until I really sort of mulled over things about its application and how I could use this that I got really quite excited about it. Not just from the injury prevention, although that's a big thing, but also from the research and being able to quantify certain aspects in our studies a lot more consistently, and reduce that variability that we get throughout a scan. So if I'd be fascinated to see in the chat room anyone's suggestions on how they could see it applied. I'll certainly engage with some of that discussion, and I think this is a product that excites me a lot, that I think we could see a lot of research generated from in the future. So thank
Yeah,
you
very
Victor,
curious.
for sharing it with us today.
Thank you.